have some fun. Life's too short not to have fun. The show is all about fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol and welcome to Over 50 So What? In the middle of the show we always have a fun 5-minute fitness routine which you can join in regardless of your level of fitness or mobility. To kick off the show today, we're speaking with Catherine Ashton from Critical Info. Do you know what to do when a loved one passes away? And does your family know your wishes for when your time comes? It's a very important conversation for us all. To finish off today, we're chatting to Betty, Dot and Mabel, the Pacific Bells. They combine music and theatre to revive the nostalgic music of the Andrews sisters. You may not be ready to die, but you can be prepared. Today we're speaking with Catherine Ashton, founder of Critical Info. She's developed this amazing platform which not only helps share our wishes with our families, but also helps guide us should a loved one pass away. Hi Catherine and welcome to Over 50 So What?
Thank you so much for having me, Carol.
Now, there's 58% of us in Australia, not writing our wills, appointing power of attorney. Why is it, do you think, people are so reluctant to do anything connected with their own passing?
I think it's probably a few reasons why people are hesitant to, prepare the documents that are required with end-of-life planning. I think it might be fear of tempting fate. So I think a lot of people think that if you speak about death, it will actually, have it happen, which we know that that's not the case. There may be cultural reasons why people don't feel comfortable talking about death or planning for it. And the other one that I find that's really common is that just people don't know where to start. What do I do?
I think what you're saying about people just don't know where to start, what to do, it becomes like this thing bigger than her, where do I start, what do I do first? And yet all of us, or I'd say most of us over 50 would, from our own experience, would know someone that has suddenly lost someone quickly without any idea of how to cope for it, where to go, what to do. And you sort of simplified that system. Can you tell us what kicked it off for you to get involved in this area?
For me, it was a personal experience. A friend of ours, it was actually my husband's best friend, died in February of last year. And I wasn't working at the time. I'd had a car accident in 2019 and I had to leave my job at the Royal Botanic Gardens where I was a producer. And so I really didn't know what I was going to do. So when Roland died, his adult children were coming over from the United States and I wanted to prepare things for them so they knew what to do when they arrived. And what I found is that there wasn't one place where you could go that tells the full story of what you have to do. And I just thought that was crazy.
So tell us about this platform. What sort of things are on there?
The first thing that I did when the kids arrived was we went through the process of what we had to do, and so I started an Excel spreadsheet, and so that Excel spreadsheet turned into a prototype for a platform that allows you to document your wishes, share them with loved ones, and nominate key contacts as well in case of an emergency. But what I found was that we had to go a step before that, and that was when I was running focus groups. People didn't even know what their, choices were. So tell us about, you've got your end-of-life wishes, which is your life and your legacy, and there's another part to it too. Can you tell us about that segment? It's really documenting your life, so all of those personal administration things that we need to take care of when someone dies. So that is, the name of the bank that you bank with, do you have a car, where, most important, where are the car keys, those practical kind of logistical information. Then looking at, what are your choices choices in relation to, do you want a funeral? Do you want to be cremated, or would you prefer burial? There's even such an option now in Tasmania as water cremation. So, that allowing people to document those choices is the main thing of what we're really wanting to do. And then sharing them with the loved ones is the most important thing. And we're also in building into the platform the ability to create a eulogy out of the information.
Yes, well, I mean, I've had the experience with someone's passed away and my mother, for instance, we had no idea where she wanted her ashes to go, what music she wanted, we had no foggy idea about anything. So we're just fumbling around. And if she had decided when she was younger, I'll just pop this there, it would have saved so much stress on the family. And you must have lots of stories like that.
Well, I do, and it was really the stories that people were telling to me that was the motivation for me to start documenting them, because everyone has a story where they have had a loved one die and something specific has happened, or there's been some level of vulnerability or confusion if those wishes haven't been documented and they haven't been expressed. So what I did is develop the podcast, and I've had the amazing opportunity to speak to so many different people about their stories, and every story is unique.
Yeah, so your podcast is called Don't Be Caught Dead.
Yep.
And I think, focusing on causing less stress to your family is the big one. I mean, you might be, fearful to even think about your next step and yourself passing on, but thinking about your family and focusing what would happen to my family if I suddenly went and no one knew anything.
And that's the thing, is that there is so much administration involved. Like when someone dies, we feel the compulsion to do something, and that would be the first thing I'd say, is that we don't have to do anything just yet. We can take a break and take a moment to just relax. And then really it's that administration process and the funeral process that goes into, and that may be sort of 12, 18 months that needs to be dedicated to that time. That actually has a delay in some cases of the person being able to grieve, because what they've done is they've kicked in straight into organisational mode, and that takes a long period of time. So if that information isn't documented, it can cause families problems with conflict over decisions. Everyone has the best intentions, but that can lead to conflict. And then also just that complex grief where people don't have the opportunity to grieve in a timely fashion.
And just going through your website, it became quite apparent to me the amazing complexity of what has to be done. Even though I've been, down there, but it's way beyond even what I thought of, like your social media accounts and what do you do with your pet and all that sort of thing. Can you tell us a bit more about things that you need to consider?
Obviously, we have the main documents that are recommended. So you've got your power of attorney, your will, you've got your advanced care directive, but it's other things like cultural considerations. So if you are unconscious and you find yourself in hospital, can you be in a mixed ward, or is that something that's not appropriate based on your cultural beliefs? When you do die, are people allowed to close your eyes? Are people allowed to touch your body? And then the other things that people don't consider, like you mentioned, pets. Do the pets have medication? Do they have issues with small dogs? Do they have issues in thunderstorms? Let alone if we actually start thinking about children and guardianships and assets and those things.
So you're doing some amazing work, Catherine, with the website, and I'm very excited. I shouldn't say I'm excited to do my end of life wishes, but it will be a bit of a journey.
Well, I have to say, we did ours before we went overseas last year with our son, and we did it over a weekend, and it was really fantastic. There was lots of stories, and we didn't really realise what music that we all wanted at each of our own services.
Oh, okay.
So it was really insightful. So, you may not think that it will be fun, but there is moments where you go, oh, that's interesting. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was sort of thinking, I want my ashes sprinkled on a mountaintop, or which mountaintop,
Yeah. Then you start getting caught up in the logistics, So, yes, decide on the mountaintop and always let them know that not to not to let them out in the wind.
The prevailing wind.
The prevailing wind, exactly.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine.
If you can, get up and join me or watch Fabulous Faye in the chair. We're going to start with the grapevine, step, behind, step, tap. If you're in the chair, just do what Faye's doing, step together, step, tap. Now, speed it up. Step, behind, step, tap. Step, behind, step, tap. You can keep it small like this. You might even want to hang on to the back of the chair. Or if you're fitter, and you've got a clear space around you, or you're in the park doing this, you can make it bigger. Behind, step, tap, step, behind, step, tap. This is called a what? Grapevine. Step, behind, step, tap. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a knee lift on the end. Woo! Knee. Knee. So you can do a small one like this, or a bit bigger. Woo! Yeah. That's it. Knee. Moving and grooving. Blowing in the wind. Just get out. Put a puffer jacket on and get out and move. That's it. Hold it there. Now we're going to go out, out, together, together. Out, out, in. One more slow. Out, out, in. Now speed it up. Out, out, in, out. Out, out, in. See, even we make mistakes. You make a mistake? No worries. If you're a bit fitter, you can go a bit deeper. I'm keeping it a bit smaller today. In, out, out. Two more, out, out. Okay, hold it there. We're going back to the grapevine. Ready? Go. Step behind, step, tap. Step behind, step, tap. Step behind, step, tap. Step behind, step, tap. That's it. Woohoo. Move that body, move that body. That's it. And now what we're going to do is we're going to put a kick on the end. Kick, step behind, step, kick, step behind, step, kick. Even the cameraman's moving while he's doing this. You can't help yourself. Just put some music on and move. Cameraman's name is Richard, by the way. Go, Richard. Go, Richard. Woohoo. Last one. Now we're going to go out, out, in with the left leg. Out, out, together. Out, out, in. Speed it up. Out, out, in, out, out, in. Once you've got that on automatic, doesn't matter if you make mistakes, as long as you have fun. You've just created a new move if you made a mistake. Woo! Okay, hold it there. Little grapevine to finish. Behind, step, tap. And kick. Put the hands up. You might feel like you're doing the chorus line. Woo! Looking hot. Feeling great. Woo! Now just hold it there and kick. Yeah, it's just like a chorus line. Take a clap. Woo! You did great. We did great. We rock. Give us 5 minutes a day.
Some of you will be too young to remember the Andrews Sisters and classics like Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, although Bette Midler did actually re-release that later. Tonight we're going to hear some classics from the 1940s and you might find yourself singing along. We're going to meet the Pacific Bells, Australia's answer to the Andrews Sisters, and they're going to be recreating history. And here we are with the amazing Pacific Bells, my first time of meeting them and seeing them in action. Hi, Betty, Dot, Mabel. Other way around, Mabel, Betty, Dot.
That's correct.
Now tell us, Betty, or otherwise known as Laura, how did you get started with creating this group?
Well, I'm obviously from the UK and I came over 10 years ago, and the world was my oyster back then. I had the freedom to choose what I wanted to do, so I thought, why not do something that I love and form a singing trio with some beautiful women and sing some gorgeous songs.
So why did you pick the music of the 40s?
I grew up watching movies from the 40s. Probably one of my favourites is Calamity Jane. I love Doris Day, and Tifa too.
So how long has the group been going?
Over 10 years now.
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
And so you've actually performed all over the country, don't you?
Yeah, that's correct. We've got Pacific Bells in Sydney and in Brisbane and also here in Melbourne. But we've also performed in Adelaide as well. So we get all over.
Can you tell us a bit more about the music of the Andrews Sisters? There'll be some people watching that may be a bit older, like over 70 or over 80, but their predominant audience is 50 to 70. So can you tell us a bit about the history of the Andrews Sisters and why they were so popular?
Yes, well, I think the fact that they were all sisters and they all sang together in 3-part harmony, and they formed this group, and it brought people together during wartime and really lifted everyone's spirits.
They had a wonderful tour in 1943 for the USO, and that's partly where they got all of their fame from.
He was a famous trumpet man from all Chicago way. He had a boogie style that no one else could play. He was a talented man at his craft, but then his number came up and he was gone with the draft. He's in the army now, a blowing gravelly. He's a boogie woogie bugle boy, Company B. They made a blow bugle for his Uncle Sam. It really brought him down because he couldn't jam. The captain seemed to understand, because the next day the cap went out and drafted a band, and now the company jumps when he was reveille. He's the boogie woogie bugle boy, Company B.
So can we find a bit about your background? So you're from the UK,
Yes,
so
yes.
you're a Brit, a Pom,
Yes,
right?
a Pommy. Mm-hmm.
I'm Australian. I'm Australian.
Born and bred.
Born and bred, absolutely.
And I'm American. I've been here also for about the last 12 years now. But yeah, so I'm American, but call Australia my home.
All right, so what inspired you to get into this era of music?
Well, I met Laura and I found out about the Pacific Bells. I've always loved it. My nan was one of the dancers back in the 40s, like dancing every weekend in the dance halls of what she did. So I grew up listening to this music too. So having done lots of performing, something like this I'd never done before, and I just loved it. I thought, what an amazing opportunity, and now we've been doing it for over 10 years and I feel so lucky.
So what kind of singing were you doing prior?
Music theatre.
Oh, music theatre?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, this is a bit of a combination, isn't it?
It is. Well, it's performing it, singing, it's perfect. I love it. Yeah, it's the best gig I've ever had.
Awesome. And what about you, Dot?
Yes, I also started off in musical theatre, and then I went to work for Disney and the cruise lines.
Oh, wow.
And then when I moved here, I was looking for something that was going to be really fun, and again, performing with women is really fun as well. And when I met Laura, I said, oh, okay, this is going to be a good time. And we've been having a good time since.
We may not be sisters, but after 10 years, we feel like sisters.
Feel a bit like
Yeah, so for the viewers, this is Colin and this is Erin. That's their real names, but we're just calling them Mabel, Betty and Dot today. Now, tell us about the music that we're going to hear tonight. What's some of the songs that people might recognise?
Oh, well, you're going to hear all your old favourites: Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, Don't Sit Under the Apple Tree, Vera Lynn's We'll Meet Again, which is very popular. We've had 500 people sing along with us to that, and it's been a real mover, hasn't it? It's made a tear come to the eye.
Lots of shiny eyes in the crowd when we sing it.
We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know why. But I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
So tell me, you've performed, like you've just come back from a heritage day. Can you tell us about the sort of events and sort of places people might expect to find you?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we did an air show yesterday in Nil, and that's fabulous fun, isn't it? We get to sing on a wing of an aircraft or on the back of a World War II truck. It's always just so much fun doing these gigs, isn't it?
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah, what else? Cruise lines we've
Yes,
performed
and
on.
Ballarat
cruise lines.
Heritage
That's it.
Weekend.
Yep.
Yep.
What do we do? RSLs, lots of RSLs
A lot
every
of
Anzac
RSLs.
Day.
Yep.
So apparently Andrews Sisters even travelled around with Bing Crosby, performing to the troops. Can you tell us a bit more about their troop performing experience?
Oh, well, yes, they have their own Bing Crosby, but we actually have our own Bing Crosby here in
Oh, do you?
Australia. Yes, I don't know if you've heard
No.
of Alan Fletcher from Neighbours.
Oh, serious?
Yes, so we've actually done a lot of performing with him. We performed a fringe show in Adelaide together, and we've also released a Christmas single. So it's called If You Want a Happy Christmas.
So there is a CD that people can purchase as well?
Absolutely, yes, and you can buy that online on our website, thepacificbells.com.
So I think great for an 80th or a 90th or even a 50th or 60th. Now, can you share with us some of the stories of people you've met when you've performed?
Lorna, she was 100 years old. She came to the air show with her family, and she knew every single word from the songs and wanted to come up and have a picture with us. And she didn't want to sit in her wheelchair. She actually wanted to stand up, so I got to help her, and I was holding her hand, and she said, "Thank you so much for holding my hand." I called her a legend, and she said, "Yes, thank you."
Yes, and we even have little ones come over to us after a show when they want to have a cuddle and a photo, and we're a little flirt with Dot as well. He couldn't stop smiling at
Oh,
you.
he did. He was keen on me.
When you say little, how little are we talking about?
Oh, he was like 4. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was 4.
Yeah.
He was very
We have
cute.
young fans and old fans, and it's so lovely that our music just appeals to everybody.
Can you give me this? Is it that one of the moves?
Woman Coca-Cola, go down Point Cubana, both mother and daughter, working for the Yankee dollar.
Obviously, I can't sing. I think I did a pretty good job.
We've got an extra uniform for you if you want to join.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. Anyone else but me. No, no, no. Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me. Till I come marching home.
That next milestone birthday. Wouldn't it be great to have the Pacific Bells perform? And they do perform all around Australia. For more information on the Pacific Bells and critical info, please go to their websites. Or for more info on any of our guests and TV show replays, check out our website, carolohalloran.com. For more fun 5-minute fitness videos, check out the YouTube channel Fitness Playlist. What are you doing for fun today? Tomorrow? The next day? Please connect with us on YouTube, Facebook and Insta and tell us about the fun you're having. Thanks for watching. I'm Carol O'Halloran. Over 50, so what? Thanks for watching our TV show. Be sure to hit subscribe and then you'll never miss an episode. Jump on Facebook, join our group, get in on the fun, fitness, wellness and inspiration. I'm Carol, over 50. So what?